This tutorial is going to show you how to create a rubric in Google Classroom. So, as a teacher, I'm going to go to my classwork and I am going to create an assignment. I will call this a test assignment for now, and you'll notice that you need to have the title in here in order for this rubric button to pop up and appear and allow you to use it. You have the normal things where you can assign this particular thing to multiple classes or to just specific students, including points or ungraded, and due date and topic, etc. So down in Rubric, you have the option to create a rubric or reuse a rubric. I have used import from Google Sheets, and it's a bit of a rigmarole, and you kind of have to export the original from Google Classroom. So I'm just going to show you create a rubric and then reuse a rubric for this tutorial. So here's the rubric criterion you're going to be using, and you have a couple of options on how you want the rubric to be displayed. And I'm just going to open up a Google Doc that I have my rubric in. So I'm going to just copy and paste. So my first criteria is skills and learning goals. So that's the title of the criteria. I could add a description, but it is not required. And I'm going to say this is the best. So this is like sort of exceeds expectations, or in this case, incorporates best practice. So the level title is called Incorporates Best Practices. And the description, how they get there, is this. You'll notice that the formatting does get lost in this, so you might have to go and kind of reformat as necessary. And you also want to make sure that you give it the correct amount of points. Okay, so that's the best part of the rubric. Now I'm going to add another criterion. It's going to be 7 points. And this one is called Needs Further Development. So I'm going to just call that. And there is my other thing. I'm not going to add the third item. I just want to make sure that you understand how to do that. And then to add the next criteria, I am going to select that little button there. Click on the copy option. The criteria title is Blended Learning, and for blended learning, these are the criteria here. This is what I'm looking for when you are trying to earn that 10 points and you're trying to incorporate best practice. Okay, so once again, have to do all that stuff with the formatting, but it shouldn't be too big of a deal. So once I am done with my rubric, I'm going to select Save. You could see right down here is the rubric. I'm going to assign it to my test students. And I'm going to show you what it looks like after a student submits the assignment. Alright, so now as a student, I'm in my test assignment, and I can see what the teacher's looking for by clicking on the skills and goals. So I know that this is the best, this is me needing further development, etc. And the same for the other categories that are in the rubric. So I'm going to add I'll just add a random document in my Google Drive, and then I will turn it in to submit the assignment, and then I'll show you the teacher view. You would go to your assignment, and you see that a student has turned their document in. You can look at the document, and then right next to the actual document, you will see that there are the rubric standards right here. If you forget what they were, you can just click on it. It tells you what they were. I'm going to minimize that now. But if you have a good memory and you remember what they were, you can remember that there's the second kind of tier was what the student earned, and then there's only one for this one. You can also add private comments. You can also add comments in here as well. So like if you see something specific, go for it. Just comment on the actual document itself. And then when you are done, you can return the feedback to the student, and they will see that they got an 85 out of 100 for the rubric. to reuse a rubric now. So let's say you do a regular reflection and you're going to use the same rubric. It's very simple. You just select the reuse rubric button over here, and then all the rubrics that you've created will be listed, and then it will attach to this particular assignment. And if you need to, you can edit the rubric if you need to change things on the rubric. So that's an option as well as you go along and work on rubrics in Google Classroom.